And we become more empowered through two things, which is really one thing: realizing who we really are and being present. Realizing who we really are and being present. Now, here's a really interesting thing about becoming empowered that I've discovered. If you want to talk about fascinating story, we have so many weird, bizarre, silly stories that we're running, personally and collectively. And one of them is about power. That power is a bad thing, and you shouldn't have it. And if you have it, or you want it, or you've got it, you're a bad person. I mean, it has to be one of the silliest stories I've ever encountered, and yet it's one of the most prominent stories I've ever encountered. And this is why no one has any power. I mean, it's not that complicated. It's actually quite simple. The reason we don't feel empowered, the reason we feel disempowered, is because we think power is bad, power is dangerous, power is evil, power is, don't have the power, take away the power. Who has the power? Fight the power. It's like there's all this weird stories about power, right? And so then it's not, when you look at it, it's kind of obvious why human beings feel disempowered. Because of the stories they're running that they shouldn't have power. So we confuse power with control, right? So power is not control and control is not power. Control is actually a lack of power. If I'm trying to control you, I don't feel powerful at all. I feel a lack of power. If I feel fully empowered in myself, I have no need to try to control you. What you do or don't do doesn't affect the power I feel inside myself, right? That's true power. You could say that's spiritual power, or that's the awakened consciousness of power, or Eckhart Tolle would call it the power of now, right? This is the real power. And why are we running these stories that that's bad? Why are we running these stories that we're not worthy of it? Why are we running these stories that we don't have we're not valuable enough for this? Why are we running these stories that power is something that we shouldn't have? Why? And so you start to look at all these stories that you're running and you realize the story is just a story. The story is not an objective truth. The story is just a story. So every single story that we're running is just a story. The universe is made of stories. It's not made of atoms. It's not made of molecules. It's not made of physical matter. It's made of stories. It seems like there's distance. It seems like there's time. It seems like, things are solid, but it's just stories. It's coding. It's like you're going to see this more and more as we open up to virtual reality. More and more, you're going to see that virtual reality and this are going to look exactly the same, feel exactly the same, smell exactly the same. Everything's going to be the same. And you're going to realize that you're in what the great mystics, the seers have been talking about for thousands of years. You're in a fucking illusion, a dream. But it's not something that's needs to be gotten away with or done away with or remove yourself from, or if I get away from it, then I'll know who I really am. No, it's all here right now. There's nothing that needs to be escaped from. There's nothing that needs to be removed. There's no problem. There's nothing that is not God. There's nothing that's not divine. There's nothing that's not holy. There's nothing that's not sacred. Everything is divine. Everything is holy. Everything is sacred. The illusion is divine. The illusion is sacred. The dream is beautiful. The dream is sacred. And this includes all the aspects of it. It includes the suffering. It includes the pain. It includes the sorrow. It includes the violence. It includes the rage. It includes the anger. It includes everything. That is the transcendence. That is the transcendence. Is it that hard to understand and comprehend that is the transcendence? To transcend this. There's only one thing you have to do, and that's transcend this. You don't have to transcend what happens next week. You don't have to transcend what happens in a year. You don't have to transcend what happens in 5 years. You don't have to transcend what happened 5 years ago. You don't have to transcend what happened 10 years ago. Just transcend this. And there's an incredible paradox. Which is the way to transcend this is to fully accept it. That's all. The way to transcend this is to fully accept it. And to fully accept this, and then to fully transcend this, is to fully be in your power, what Eckhart Tolle would call the power of now. Right? The power of now. And the power of now is you. You're the power of now. I'm the power of now. We are the power of now. Because it's always now. It's never not right now.